next? Are we going to continue to rally, or are we going to take a little bit of a breather? We shall see. All right. Let's see here if we got any numbers coming out this morning. So we are just kind of hanging there against the little range we've been in here for most of the morning hours here. We have initial claims that already came out. Wholesale inventories is coming out here at 9 o'clock, so very light week in regards to fundamentals. Let's see if there's anything coming out tomorrow. Well, tomorrow's CPI number is coming out, which is an inflation number, which is what the market might be interested in. And it's coming out early on before we open up here at 7:30. All right. So market is kind of hanging there against bounced off of our blue band there a little bit. That was also our pivot, and just kind of hanging. See what it wants to do. Welcome some new folks that are here. We are trading mini S&Ps, trying to take advantage of ebbs and flow in the market as we're trying to scalp the market. We don't believe markets go straight up or straight down. Consequently, we're trying to find those inflection points that give us an opportunity to scalp. With this volatility, the only thing that's keeping us from going to 2 to 3 points is the fact that it is thinned out on the ladder ticket, but it's coming back a little bit. There's more 100 lots in there now that you're seeing. If you look at the ladder ticket, we're probably going to stay to 3 to 4 points as our goals here, as far as stops and targets are concerned. So 3 to 4 points be a good number, and we shall see what happens. So we're scalping the market for about 3 to 4 points using the levels that we gave out, in addition to price action opportunities that might occur once the market paints some bars. Combination of both gives us our setups to trade. And we like to average, I'd say about 4 to 5 trades during the course of a day. And that's what we're looking for as we come up here to the 90 area. I have a little resistance up in this area here. See what it wants to do. Again, just keep your stops in place no matter what, and let the market kind of do our thing. That's all. All right. If anybody has any questions, make sure you put them in the chat box area. I have that window up, and we'll be able to answer any questions that you might have. Anything that I say as far as trades are concerned or anything like that, definitely are taught. We teach you anything that, if I give you a level, if I'm giving you a position, or if opportunity to trade, whether they be price action or anything like that, everybody, it's a taught experience. Okay, kind of just running through this first level here that we have. And again, just keep your stops in place. That's all we can do. Let's see. All right. So again, we have no numbers coming out here this morning. Tomorrow we have the CPI number, the inflation number that the market's kind of concerned about. We'll see what it wants to do there. And we'll see, maybe it'll give us some volatility, because this tight little range is not the best trade for us, but it is what it is. All right, let's see here. That support will be back around our pivot area there at 84. All right. Again, if anybody has any questions, make sure you put them in the chat box area. As you can see, I've lost my voice here somehow. I don't know. I don't understand. So kind of just bear with me here. Well, at least I can talk, but it just doesn't sound good anyway. All right, well, we got a little bit of rotation here. Did spike up a little bit above the 90 there, about 4 points, obviously. Again, it's right on the borderline of our stop area. So some of you might have, some of you didn't. If you didn't, then you're maybe scratching a few here. So we have no numbers coming out this morning. All right, again, if anybody has any questions, make sure you put them in the chat box. And kind of a quiet day. You can always tell volume is light overnight, not much is going on. They kind of, after yesterday afternoon, they kind of definitely went sideways here in a very tight little range and kind of sticking within that range. So until they kind of break out here, it's going to be kind of a little bit quiet. Don, did you get yesterday's levels that you asked for? Yeah, okay, good. All right, next level of resistance we have is up at the even area, 47 even. So the board right now would be down at the 84. All right. Kind of lackluster trade, nothing too exciting, nothing happening, very boring. Patience is important. Can't always, again, we like to average, I would say about 4 to 5 trades in the course of a day. Again, average is a key word there. I don't know if it always happens that we get 4 or 5 trades, but we definitely average about that. Some days we could have a lot more than 4 or 5, and just such as trading, right? I mean, we just don't know when we're going to get the opportunity or the volatility, I should say, that's going to be injected into the market. So consequently, we just have to be a little bit patient and wait for the opportunities to present themselves. And when they do, hopefully we're there to take advantage of it. And sometimes it doesn't work out, and we take our stop and we move on to the next opportunity, whatever it may be. And I mean, we are always at the mercy of volatility. I've said that many a time. So can't really create volatility. We just trade it. We did get to 12. Oh, no, yesterday's high was 6. Yeah. Intraday trade was 6, yesterday's high. right, well, we are just kind of side widening here a little bit in the little range that we've been at most of the morning. So you have to be patient and wait for the opportunities. That's all we can do here. So if anybody has any questions, a good time to ask questions. We're not always going to be busy, obviously. And it is what it is. Support right now would be at the 84. Obviously, the 90 area is kind of maintaining here a little bit. So that's giving you, if you did solid before, maybe you're scratching it, like I said earlier. And if you still have them on, then look for it to push down to, well, the 84 area would be a nice little target. But again, it's so slow that it's not probably happening. All right. So the levels are out there. And there they are again for you. Again, use them as a guide to the day. Um, and sometimes we're going to fill all of those really quick. I have to sometimes give you more. Those are just a guide. We can tweak those, adjust those a little bit. Sometimes we even have to cancel some of them because of the price action. Again, if anybody has any questions or if interested in taking your trading or even advancing your trading to another level, or even just adding some more concepts and ideas to your trading portfolio, let us know. We can help you out here. I mean, everybody has a unique way of trading. Not two people trade the same. You take bits and pieces from different concepts and ideas and create your own there. So that's where we're at. Okay. Again, we're always at the mercy of, movement in the market. That's all we can do. Those of you who want to see Mark in the flesh, he actually got his camera up and working yesterday. Maybe we can get him to show up today and come up here for a second and Put your camera up there. Show us how beautifully it works, since we are not really doing anything. I don't know if I know he can hear me, but now he's scrambling probably to fix his hair and put on his sunglasses. Sure that he's so come on on, Mark. Let's see if you can and then we can get Don up here with the overalls. I mean, we could have a party here today. He did have his camera working yesterday afternoon. I happened to stop by and see if there was anything going on in the market, and I thought it was Brad for a second. I said, wait a second, that guy doesn't look like Brad. It's like, who's on here? So, I mean, anytime, Mark, you can just click, he's getting hair and makeup taken care of before he gets on. Don, if you can hear me, come on up, man. It's not like we're really busy today. And so join us. Help me out here, because it's hard for me to keep talking when there's nothing going on. And besides that, I lost my voice. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, but
this is as good as it's going to get for 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh wow! It's 6:48.
Well, I've been up since 6.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I'm looking down on something.
You are.
All right, where's Don?
I don't know, Don. Come on up, Don.
He's fixing his overalls.
He's getting his hair and makeup taken care of.
So are you catching a cold? Or are you just losing your breath, your voice?
No, I had a game yesterday.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and kind of lost my voice there. Actually, I had two games in 2 days, and I think the combination of both kind of messed up my voice.
Stop yelling at those kids.
Yeah, it was the refs yesterday. The refs were really getting on my case yesterday and the day before. But a little bit more than usual, which I usually don't really get on their case. But they were. Some of these refs should retire. They just can't keep up with the game anymore. I mean, I don't understand. All right, we're kind of turning over here a little bit finally, if you are sticking with it. But that was a long time to stick with it, obviously, so.
So where's your camera cell?
You're seeing it.
I'm sure everyone wants to know what the Great Oz looks like.
Just look at the website. I'm on there. You're seeing it.
I'm gonna go hide. I'm gonna hide until
Don
comes back.
Look at Don. He's chit-chatting away, but he's not joining us. Come on, Don. Come on up here.
He's fixing his overalls.
I mean, tomorrow is Friday. Tomorrow we got to do the the Friday thing.
Friday wrap up.
Oh, nice guy. I'm trading. Thanks, Don. Thanks. I appreciate it. I didn't know you were trading. I mean, I can't. Neither. I am too, but don't worry. He's too busy. I don't know what you're trading, to be honest with you. But but Don does come up with trades out of. He loves the slow stuff. You gotta give him credit. I hate the slow stuff. He loves the slow stuff. So we are coming back here to 84, which is our pivot. Probably a little support, I guess, if you are so inclined, if you really have to trade. Like these days really are tough for me because there's nothing happening and I just don't feel like getting too involved because they might pull the plug at any moment. Worse than this.
Did you say there was any news today or anything? I'm sorry.
No, nothing.
There's nothing going on?
Initial claims came out. That was it. Tomorrow's CPI, so that could be something. CPI number could, everybody's looking at inflation, so we'll see how out of whack it is. Let's see where it goes from there.
So how did your boys do? Did they win?
We lost on Tuesday in a close game, but we played awful. We kind of lost. They didn't win. We lost. I will definitely say that because we played pathetic. And yesterday we started out. They came out like, I don't know, they were sleeping or something, and he had to take a quick time out to tell them, okay, well, we have a game here. Anytime you guys are ready to start, let me know. And so they finally, started moving their feet a little bit. So, kind of worked out okay after that, but we were down like a lot. Bouncing off the blue band here at the 84 area. Did you jump in there?
I was going to. I just didn't like the way it looked. The way it was kind of.
Got right down to 84 and popped right back up. I can't believe you didn't take that.
I know.
Can't believe you didn't take it. Doesn't even make sense.
It just looked kind of flat to me.
It was also the pivot, man. What's wrong with you? Oh my God.
Hopefully Don took it for us.
I even took it.
You can send me some now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're all covered. Y'all took it.
Good.
Oh, there it is.
Don got me covered on that one then.
Don took it too. And Don took it, I took it, and you? Oh, no.
Oh, man.
I didn't. Mister.
I was fixing my hair.
Mr. Blue Band didn't take the Blue Band trend. Oh, my God.
Something's wrong.
Oh my God! It was also our pivot.
I know.
Oh my goodness! Oh, Tim covered his short there. That was a good cover. Very nice. Very nice. Nice trade. Don, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good. Good.
I don't know why I'm in this trade.
I know. I don't understand. Yeah. It is slow.
I was looking for it to bounce up to 90. I don't know why I'm in this trade.
We're converting you, Don.
Oh, he's saying why he's still in the trade. That's what he's saying. It's not that he's in that. Why is he still in the trade?
I tell you what, we have chewed that ground between 82 and 88.
Oh yeah,
days.
Yeah. Look at that. It's like brutal.
And
that's what it's kind of consolidating here a little bit, trying to see, are we going to continue to rally? Probably waiting for the CPI numbers to come out and on how the market reacts to it, the inflation numbers. And then we'll see what it wants to do from there. It's been absorbing every bad number, so it doesn't even matter. So we'll see what happens. All right, market now going a little bit to the downside here. Next support level we have, and the downside is up at 77. Again, we are scalping the market. So if you did take the 84 trade that we talked about, was having some support to get right down to 84 and rotate it back up. You had 3 points on that one very easily. And now we're just continuing to downtick here, looking for 77 as the next support level.
I guess if we get back to 88, I'm going to have to bail this trade.
Yeah, okay. Well,
I like 90, but I don't know that it's going to make it.
you like 90, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, it is range bound, so you just got to be careful. Got to be careful with the range thing. That's all, because you never know when it's going to stop being a range thing and start being something else. So, see what happens here. It's coming back for you nicely. Again, we don't have anything on right now. I mean, I don't. We talked about the 84 support, and that was an area that we bought a little bit earlier, and then we had a nice rotation off of it. And like I said earlier, everybody trades differently. Trades that I would take, maybe somebody else wouldn't. Trades that Don would take, probably nobody takes. And
if they're smart, they're not taking them.
yeah, and definitely Mark do. So no, of course not. You're here for a reason. So obviously, but so everybody has to find their unique way and concepts and trades that they can find and visualize, and understand why they're taking it, and then find your parameters that you're looking for to enter and exit. I mean, basically, Don's parameters are different than anybody else's. So,
yeah, mine's usually get out of the hole.
I can't drink enough water to get my voice back. It's so bad. I didn't realize it was so bad. I mean, yesterday I thought it was okay. I mean, well, that's what happens when your wife doesn't talk to you all night. So she comes home from the hospital. She's pretty tired because her dad's still there. He's going to come out next week.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So, but she's tired when she gets home because it's been a long day for her. And she just goes to bed, and she gets up early. I don't know why she gets up early. But I thought I had my voice yesterday, so I don't know where this came from. Anyway, yeah, so we are kind of just coming back into this range here. Very, very quiet. Not surprising. Happens. We just some days are more active than others, and you just got to pick your spots. If you took the 90 and you got stopped out, that's okay. Hopefully you took the 84 on the rotation to the downside here and took advantage of that trade. And now we're just kind of hanging here against our pivot. Very, very quiet. Nothing to get too excited about.
How often do your boys play? How many games? Like so many games per week or per month, or?
Well, and this is post-COVID, quasi post-COVID, because we're still in COVID. Some schools will not play yet. They just they're just not. They're not playing yet. So we usually have about, I would say, during a regular season, about anywhere between 16 and 20 games. But this year, if we get 10 to 12, we're lucky. We're at 10 right now, and we're talking about another school that might give us a couple more games. But then, you got the, some of the schools won't allow spectators, and others will, and and then we have, and you can't get a bus anymore, so you have to. Parents have to drive the kids to the schools, and if they're not allowed to go into the game and watch their own kid play, then they have to sit around and do nothing. It's like weird. Everything's a little strange. Everything's strange. But yeah, this year again, 10 to 12 games. Usually we'd have anywhere between 16 and 20 games.
Wow.
That's just for the school. And then right at the end of the season, then we start with my older kids. We're coming out to San Diego this year.
I know. I'm waiting for you.
Yeah, I know.
I go down there and watch you guys.
Haven't picked a team for that yet. Don, you got your 90 now. Should be happy.
I'm happy. I'm going. It's a miracle.
Yeah. Well, the down push, the push to the downside created some shorts, and it gave the impetus to go up here. I mean, that's the dynamic here. Sometimes you need the market to. If you're looking for the market to go up, you need it to go down first. Catch everybody a little bit short, and then all of a sudden it rotates and goes back the other way. The same thing with the 90 area here. We had 90. They tried to push it up about 93 a couple times, and then flushed it down. We couldn't get it. So it's one of those things. It's a weird dynamic, but that's what happens once in a while.
I just know I trade 83 to 88. It's been there.
There you go. There you go. That's good. Lately, yes, he's a range trader, so that's what happens. All right, just this is slow, but it is what it is. Can't complain.
Yeah, it run up there, and I jumped off at 87. And
you should have told me. I would have bought him.
Well, then it turned around and tanked back down, and I'm looking at my dome, and it's all red. And I'm going, I forgot I had one still left on. Then it turned around and took off, and I said, "You talk about lucky."
Oh, there you go. There you go. Good job. Good.
That's just luck.
Hey, listen, we got to get lucky once in a while, because definitely we can put on a trade and have the market like go against us because somebody said something, and do you call that unlucky, or you call that just trading? This is just trading. You got to miss your count once in a while. Usually when I miss my count, it goes against me. So that's happened. It's amazing how that's happened. I had a clerk who double counted. I counted my position. She counted her position. She's always double checking my position. And every now and then I get a phone call that I have a position on, totally by accident, because me and my clerk both thought we were flat. And then, of course, it's against me every time. I don't know why. It happens every time. I mean, I don't know why. Every time I had a position, I mistakenly had a position, it was always wrong when I found out about it. It's amazing how that happens. Just unbelievable. But
the trading gods are not nice.
I mean, you got to figure once in a while you'd be like dumb luck and have it go the right way, your way. Nope, not with me.
Yeah, I can relate.
Amazing. It really is. You'd be surprised. But it is what it is.
That trade, it said go long. So I jumped in it, and it didn't get to where I wanted it to go, so I didn't jump out. Then the next thing you know, here we are going against you. It's kind of like, you don't have much time to make up your mind.
No, you don't. Not these days. They're moving around pretty fast. I mean, you're getting 100 lots slowly back in the ladder ticket now. So, I mean, this morning we didn't even have 100 lots in the ladder ticket. So,
I know, wasn't it great?
Yeah. It was moving around.
Don loves that kind of trade.
Yeah.
I hate it when I don't see 100 lots. I feel like something's going on.
Yeah, because when you put your 100 lot in there, it shows up. I get it.
Exactly, yeah. How am I going to hide my stuff?
I get it.
Trying to hide my orders from everybody.
I tell you, you can't pull nothing past me. Don't worry. I understand what you're doing.
Yeah.
I can't imagine all the things you've seen through the years.
Yeah, and they're standing right next to people, watching them.
Yeah.
The worst, I tell you, the worst parts sometimes were It's one time, this one, I'll call him a kid, but he was a trader standing there, and he was just, uh, he just didn't want to get out of the trade. And it was one of those trending up trending up markets. And he kept just adding on and adding on. I had to leave because I see what he was doing, and he wasn't getting out of anything. And he keeps adding on to the trade. I'm like, what is this kid doing? He wasn't there the next day. That's kind of painful to watch, It's painful to also watch when a trade goes against you, and you just can't get out. That's the other painful part. And people will say, "What do you mean you can't get out? You just can't get out." You'd be surprised, right? You're just waiting for the market to settle down to give you a price, and by the time you give you a price, you're like, "Oh God, that's not good." But crazy days have been. You can't even relate when the markets are going crazy and everybody's, trading and jumping on top of each other. There is nothing like that. And I mean, obviously not anymore because there's no markets, there's no pits to trade in. But those days were incredible. Like very, adrenaline was flowing. It took me like a couple hours just to settle down afterwards.
I watch YouTube videos on that, Sal, and I think I would die the first day. It just, the way you guys jumped around and yelling and screaming. How did you get anything done? I don't get it. I still don't get it to this day. It's like people yelling at you and there's paper flying, and it's like, I don't know, how do you explain that? It's just, people are making money in there.
Yeah, I call it controlled madness.
Yeah,
okay? Because the guys who are trading, and you also have to know who to trade with. I mean, you definitely know the newer people who are walking in there are the same as you, looking at it and saying, "Oh my God, this is unbelievable," and they're not trading basically. So, and then you don't want it. And then if I do trade with somebody new, or you always know. I always tell my clerk, make sure you check this trade, because you just never know how they're, because I'm saying something and maybe they perceive something else. And so, but when you're trading and when everything's going nuts and the markets are going, and, people know that you have to check trades with each other, because I can I can say something and I can get hit with 6 different people at the same time. And if I want to be nice, I split it up. Let's say I wanted to buy 30 lots and 6 people hit me. I could do 30 with one person, or I could do 5 lots each, right? And so I usually, because I usually did 5. My clerk hated me for it. Okay. But she had to go check with 6 different people instead of just one. But that was just the way I traded, and so other guys would just trade a 30 lot with one person and be done with it. But yeah, I mean, it was, and then you have to write it down, and it takes a little bit of time. And when you're busy, you don't even have time to write it down. So yeah, I mean, you cannot replicate the energy that was created on the floor in the pit. On the screen. It's just not happening.
My thing would be like someone would come up to me at the end of the day and say, "Where's my 100 lot we traded?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" "Well, you looked right at me. We exchanged eye contact. You owe me 100 lots." It's like that would be my biggest fear.
Right. Well, that's
stuff like that happen. I mean,
oh, for sure. That's that what you just described there is called an out trade.
But what if someone said, "Well, I didn't look at you. What are you talking about?" Here's
what happened. Here's the worst thing that happens is that he writes down the 100 lots, right? And he doesn't check it. And the next morning he comes into you for 100 lot and you don't have it. And the market is either against you usually, and you have to cover it the next day because you guys are responsible. So I mean, there is an arbitration board where you'll say, I never traded with him, I this and that. And the other guy will say, yeah, I did trade with you. And I go, did you check the trade? No, I did check the trade. You can. So it's one word against his. And usually in that situation.
What do you mean by check the trade? What does that mean?
Well, I
Like,
mean,
how do you check it?
okay, so let's say I did 100 lot with you in the pit. And when things are going crazy, right, I'm going to write it down and I'm going to say, hey, Mark, I'm just checking with you. And I'll say checking. I'll make like a check mark in the air. I bought 100 at what price? And you're going to say yes or no to me.
Oh, I
So
see.
either you're, if you're across, like I would, my biggest concern was trading with people across the pit. So if I traded with somebody across the pit, I would like yell his name out really loud and say, hey, Mark, and I make sure you see me. And I go checking 100 lot and you'd say yes or no.
None of that. They got cameras everywhere.
No. What do you
Back
think
in
this
the
is?
day.
The 2020s?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Cameras everywhere. Come on. No, that was not happening back in the day. That's you could still get away with shit then. Don't worry. There were women, a handful of women, as a matter of fact. The one girl I stood next to, she's she was probably 4'11", and probably not even 90 pounds, and she was a trader. So I was really felt bad because, when it gets the crush, sometimes you get pushed on and this and that, and I was trying to protect her a little bit because she was so small, but she, sometimes she got pushed over too. There were a couple of women around me that were trading, but a handful. Out of the 600 traders in the pit at one time, when the bond pit was really the bond pit, I would say maybe 20 women traders. So I don't know. That's a big number, a little number, but
the pit reminded me of a football team offensive line. There were some big suckers down there.
Oh yeah. Well, back in the day, when you used to, they used to retire from the Bears. They used to come to trade because what else did they do, right? I mean, these guys, and there were some big guys who came in and started trading. And one time there was a big lineman or something that came in the bond pit and wanted to stand in the spot of one of the biggest traders on the floor. Some of you might have heard of him. He was popular because he wrote a book. He was on CNBC, and Tom Baldwin was his name. If you look,
Oh yeah, I've heard of him.
right, if you Google Tom Baldwin, you'll see he was one of the biggest bond traders, on the floor, and he came and stood in his spot, and Tom was having nothing of it, and all what they were doing was just pushing and shoving. Now, who's going to win that match against a football player? Okay, I mean, and Tom is trying to trade like 1,000 lot. Okay.
Oh my God.
And, and he's like, just making a scene. I mean, Tom was always one to make a scene, because he thought he was a big shot. He, like this one time, I'm standing next to this guy. Now Tom's across the pit from me, and he trades with this guy who's standing next to me. So, and the guy's a new trader. And the guy, I don't know what the new kid is trading 7 lots for, but he traded a 7 lot for him. Now, to make a sign for a 7 lot, you have to put 2 fingers sideways, your top 2 fingers sideways, and put them underneath your chin. That's 7. Okay, 2 fingers sideways underneath your chin. That's 7. If you take the same 2 fingers and put them on the side of your head, that's 70.
Oh my God.
Okay. So 7 would be underneath your chin. 70 would be sideways next to your head, side of your head. the guy trades ones and tens at the most, and Tom put a 70 lot in his card against his 7 lot that the kid traded. So Tom sells him 70 to this guy who's a new trader, and Tom knows he's a new trader, and the kid puts in 7. So now there's 63 lots out trade in the morning. You're talking about like, there's a problem right there. 63 lots. There was a problem. And Tom starts yelling at this kid when he finds out, when he comes into the floor, because I guess his clerk must have told him that this kid needed 7 and you put 70. And he's like, comes and starts yelling, berating this kid. And I'm just listening. I go, and finally I go, shut the F up, Tom. Just shut up. The poor kid is just getting pummeled, and he does no answer for him. And Tom's just making a scene in the pit. I just told him, shut the F up, Tom. Just shut up. He was just so freaking annoying. Poor kid. I mean, 70 versus 7.
Wow.
The kid, and Tom should know this kid's not going to be trading 70 lots. I mean, that's the other thing. I mean, you got to know who you're trading with. I mean, the guy's down at the bottom of on the trading pit. He's not it's a stairs up. The lower, the people who don't trade much are more towards the middle of the floor, middle of the pit, down low. And this kid was literally almost as low as you can go, and he's trading 70 lots. I mean, come on, that's ridiculous. So, whatever. That was the story. But yeah, so Tom was like pushing and shoving this guy. And then now you can call him names. You can call his mother names. You can call his sister names. You can say whatever you want, as loud as you want, but you better not swing. Okay? Soon as there's a punch or something, it's an automatic 30-day suspension and a $25,000 fine.
Oh.
Now, the fine, Tom doesn't give a shit about. The 30-day suspension, that's a lot of money for him. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's got 6 figures to 7-figure days every day, right? I mean, that's his minimum. And you have to, when you're trading 1,000 lot, you're taking the bond pit as 1,000 lot is $31,000. So you're not going to be, less than 6 figures is not even conceivable. But that was his days, right? So he didn't care about the $25,000 fine. But if you swung, you're out. That was it. So he didn't swing, but there was a lot of name calling and a lot of shoving, a lot of pushing. And finally, after 2 days, 3 days, the guy, he cannot stand up there. I mean, there's too much stuff going on the top step with the brokers, and you have to be able to trade a lot. When you get a new person on the top step, you're not going to trade with that guy. He's not going to be, you can't handle the size. Just not happening. So he ended up finally not showing up anymore. So
Sal, that's one thing I still don't understand is if you guys are trading and putting stuff down on your cards and stuff like that, you guys kind of do the clearing at the end of the day. How does the quote board and the volume and all that stuff get updated during the day? So when the market's going up or the volume and things like that. I mean, how do you know?
Well, the volume you don't know. Okay. I mean, you guys look, because of the computers and everything going through the computer. When we finally got the electronic trading, then you were able to get the volume on the electronic trading, but you never got the volume on the floor until the next day. Okay, so you didn't know what prices traded at I mean, you could have found out if you asked for it, but your volume that was traded on the pit collectively, well, you didn't find out till the next day. As far as the prices were concerned, every time there were price reporters there, which are those. If you look at any pictures of the pit, you saw these like tall stands that are looking down on the pit, and those tall stands are pit reporters. Which every time there was a price that you traded a price, you'd have to quote it to pit reporters. So you would say, if I traded, where's the market right now at 40? If I traded 88, right? I would say I traded 88. So they would put 88 up there. If you traded 88 and a quarter, you'd say I traded 88 and a quarter. So they put it up there. So when it's slow, it's easy. When it's fast, sometimes when there's a number that comes out and the bond market, you're trading 06, 11, 16, 26, right? You are putting a 6 up there. You're not saying 26 or 06, you're putting a 6. And sometimes if the markets are moving around, it's like, oh, wait, is that 06 or 6? So it becomes a little bit of an issue.
Wow, that's confusing. Don, you owe me 100 lot from yesterday, by the way. I just wanted to let you know. I'm clearing my books right now, and I traded 100 lot with you, so I'm gonna clear that up.
That's all right. I've been taking a lot of Blue Bands trades for you, so you ought to be about even. I don't know if they're just holding this price in here because this is rollover. I don't think has anybody looked at the other contract? Are we far apart?
I haven't looked.
Yeah.
It's only 3 or 4 points yesterday.
No, it's in regards to the price. The price difference is it's trading at 81.50 right now, and we're trading at 88.50. So it's 7 points. So it's not so bad. And the volume is actually 200,000. So they did flip over. So we'll flip over tomorrow.
I know yesterday I looked at it. It was we were only about 4 points apart.
Yeah. Okay.
But usually we ended up being close to 10.
Right. Right. Sometimes it all depends on the settlement prices of other, 1 month to the other. Sometimes, yeah, you're right. They're usually about 9. And where's it at again? At 79, and it's about 7 points today. Yeah, it is what it is. And they are trading. The volume there is about 200,000 today, which yesterday at this point was 20,000. So they are turning over a little bit.
It's like right now the big S&P is trading like at 85.50, 25, and after we roll over, we normally trade off about 10 points from that big S&P. And as we get closer to expiration, I guess everything comes back in line.
Towards expiration, yes.
Yeah. So we shall probably have another week, but another week, this contract and that contract is going to be almost on top of each other.
Right. Right, but we won't be trading the one that's expiring, so we won't even notice it. Right. Yeah. So you know that if somebody had a position, let's say if you had a grain position, and the contract expired, right? And this is a true story, by the way. Before bond market and before when the grain market was the only market that was out there in futures trading. One time somebody had a position on, and the contract expired. I mean, he forgot or whatever, or somehow something happened. You got to remember, this is back 50s. Markets were not where they are today. They had the chalkboard. I don't know if you saw some pictures of the chalkboard that was putting up the prices, right? So not everything was automated, obviously. And so some people didn't realize, or somebody didn't know that they had a contract. And, if you have a contract that's open-ended and it expires, you own that position. So you have a bond market that was $100,000 contract, and you own that bond. It was $100,000. You had to pay for it. Well, if you owned 5,000 bushels of wheat or corn or whatever, soybeans, right? You owned those soybeans, 5,000 bushels, and the guy got 5,000 bushels dumped on his front lawn because he didn't have, he didn't have a silo to put it on. That was his address because that was his address that he was trading on, and they took the 5,000 bushels and dumped it on top on his front lawn.
Jeez.
Now, if they dumped it on Don's front lawn, it would just blend right in.
Yeah.
Well, nobody would even notice. But when here in the suburbs said he dumped 5,000 bushels of corn, they noticed.
I'd have every cow in the country that we're here eating.
Right. Yeah, you'd be everybody would be your friend for that. All your buddy farmers would come over. Hey, you need some help taking care of that?
And just everybody bring their tractors with their front end loaders, and off we go.
Wait. Mark wants to know what that means.
That's a tractor. I'd have to worry about the HOA kicking me out. Like,
Oh.
Sorry, you got to get this corn out of here.
Yeah, we're kind of lacking on HOAs around here.
Yeah, we're kind of slowly drifting down here. What do we got? 77 support level we got. That's the next area we're looking at. Very, very slow today. Just slow. Not much we could do about it. Let's see. Tomorrow we do have the CPI number, so that should maybe give us a little bit of volatility, especially if it's out of whack. Even if it's out of whack, though, I mean, I can't imagine this market going down. I mean, the market already has absorbed the bad inflation numbers, and if it's a good inflation number, the market has to go up, right? So I don't know.
Well, don't every year they say the Christmas rally or something like that? So
It's the Santa Claus, right?
Santa Claus rally. There you go.
Come on, man.
Sorry, I knew it was something festive.
Something festive. Yeah, Santa Claus. Well, we're in the midst of it right now, so yeah. So there was there is the somebody always had this trade Thanksgiving. You used to sell it on Wednesday. Well, this is the bond market. You used to sell it on Wednesday, and you're closed on Thursday, and you always buy it back on Friday morning. It was always like 90% of the time it was down. I never tried it. I'm just saying. In the bond market, that was the trade to sell it on Wednesday after. This is the Thanksgiving trade. You sell it Wednesday afternoon on the close, and you buy it back on Friday morning when the market opens up. But never tried it, so I can't vouch for the legitimacy of that trade. But somebody always took it. They always told me about it every time. I was like, oh, okay, great, enjoy.
Man, here we are again. I bought that 78 earlier this morning.
That's your favorite area.
Well, no, I was looking for that 89.
Oh, this thing better come back down.
Yeah.
Get filled at 78 there.
I got 78.50, and I'm already out. I like them 1 minute trades.
Oh,
we
wow.
really need. I'd like to see it get back to that 85 area.
Don, he'll take 84. It's our pivot.
Yes. There's got to be a blue band coming in there somewhere.
It will be. Chad, does that mean you got filled or you didn't get filled? No. All right. Well, I got to make the adjustment, hopefully, or cancel it. Coming down to the 80.77 now. Busting through here a little bit. You had to make the adjustment there when it touched 78, and you didn't get it. So do have the 74 as backup here. But if you made the adjustment, then you're probably getting filled down at the 76 area, maybe, if you go on the lower end. So you take your clue from not getting filled at 78 to making the adjustment to your lower end of the entry point. And if it happens that you get filled there, that's good. If it doesn't, then don't worry about it. Then you're canceling it. If you didn't adjust it to 76, and you didn't, and if you kept you kept 77, you're getting a little bit. But if you had the top end there at 78 and you didn't get filled, then you cancel the 78 and go down at 76 on your lower end of your scale. I mean, that's what I would do. That's what I do.
That's what I did.
That's what you did.
That's what I did.
All right, there you go. That's what he did. And he's getting a nice little ride up here off of the 76, and even though it went down to 75, but you lessen your risk a little bit, but you're still playing the area because it's the area, and you adjust the risk a little bit just to adjust it to the market price action. So, all right, there it is. So that kind of worked out. Just a matter of taking the price action and let it work for you. It's got to be one of those instinctual things where you see you got the 78, you didn't get filled, you cancel, and then you go down to 76 or 70. If the ranges are a little bit tighter, you make it a half a point, but you just make that adjustment really quick. Should just be automatic. You can't get upset that you missed the 78. I mean, you could. I've heard Mark say the F word because he didn't get filled one time.
I know it was a bad fill. I got out of some, and then I was holding some. Then all of a sudden, the market went against me, and I tried to get out, and I got the most horrible fill. So it turned a nice little profit into a small loss.
Yeah, those are the worst, right? I hate turning the winner into a loser. I hate that. Bothers me. But we heard your frustration.
That was my first day on the mic as well.
Yeah, it was actually.
I forgot it was on. I was like, "Is this on?"
It was actually. You're right. That was one of your first times you were on the mic. That was funny. Oops. All right, there, Philip. See you tomorrow.
Come on, 80.
80, we were just up there.
Nah, we're gonna go back.
Okay.
I got faith in it.
Okay. You gotta love. Yeah, that's why you gotta love Don. You gotta love Don for that.
You got to admit, though, that is an amazing recovery, don't you think, Sal? When we were just last week, all down almost 10%, and now
turn around. How many times has it done that, though?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It's like
it's done that all the time, so it's just amazing.
You see online, everyone is just and on the news that people are just waiting for this market to crash, and it just doesn't seem like it's going to happen. And everyone's trying to get short, and they get these big shorts, and then they get tore up.
Yeah, well, that's why they make new highs.
What is it? All that volume that they get from all the short people?
Well, they get themselves short and they realize they're wrong, and it creates more impetus to the upside, right? I always say that if you want the market to go up, you have to make it go down first.
Right.
Gets them all a little bit short, and then they're sticking with the position. Maybe they even double up a little bit, and then once it starts breaking through, yeah, then they start getting out, and it creates more upside push.
This is not right. Okay. I see 85 back up there.
You need your binoculars for 85.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, you're gonna wait for that.
He's a very patient man, my friend.
Mm.
If he said 95, I'd believe him, and he'd be waiting all day for it.
Well, you may have to wait a couple of hours for that 85, but should
Yeah.
go back to it.
All right. Well, again, so the 77 area worked, and the next level on the downside we have is down at the 69 area. If we break down there, that's that little spike from 2 days ago, and we'll see what it wants to do. A very, very slow day. Thanks, guys, for helping me out here. It's kind of hard for me to keep entertaining myself and you, and I can't keep talking all the time.
You reckon you could push this market up? Help me out a little bit here.
Let me have Mark's account. I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Buy a few thousand lots here
You
real
want to do
quick.
that?
I mean, that's what Tom Baldwin used to do when it was really, really slow in the bond pit. He would love being slow trade in the bond pit. He would just, keep it up, keep the market up by, let's say he wanted to. Let's say the other thing is he knew where the stops were going to be above, right? Like he knew where he knew where. I don't want to say this out loud, but sometimes maybe the broker told him, even though he wasn't supposed to, where his stops were going to be above the market. So, or maybe he just knew. I'd say maybe he was told, but I'll just give him the benefit of the doubt. He didn't know where the stops were, but let's say, but he kind of knew where the stops were on the upside. So he would let's say the stops were at 25 and the market's trading at 12. And so he would buy 12 bid. He would say 12 bid, 12 bid. He would keep buying it. People would sell it. Then he'd say 13 bid, 14 bid, and people would sell it to him. And nobody's really selling much. The volume's really not that much, and he could probably put on 2,000 or 3,000 bonds, and just kind of quietly hold the market up himself because nobody's really selling much. When you have a total volume day on the holiday season of let's say maybe 150,000 and he's trading 25,000 of it, you can keep the market up one way, right? So he did. And so he'd slowly hold the market, but he'd sit there and be patient and wait. And then he'd go 14 bid, 15 bid, 16 bid, and finally gets up to 25. And his stops are hit, then he sells them all the way up to 30 with all the stops, and he gets short. And because all the buying's gone, and then he starts selling it off really quick because all the buying's gone, and he can push the short down a little bit. I mean, that's what he did when it was slow. I mean, this guy would be there on the slowest days. Like, why is he in here? That's because he can do what he does so good. He could have done that. He did that. That's what it's so good about. He was, and then the markets got a little bit bigger, and then he got killed one time. I told this story before where, it was an unemployment day, and we started at 7:20, and the unemployment number was released at 7:30, and he's like buying everything in sight. Like, what's going on? the broker would tell him, I'll buy 1,000 at 12, and the market's trading at 10. Okay, so he has to go 10 bid, 11 bid, 12 bid, and he's like buying everything, and he has to put the 12 out. So he puts the 12 out that he sold 1,000 at 12, and then the market's trading at 12, and the broker goes, I'll buy 1,000 at 15.
All right.
And so he sells it to him, because if the broker tries to buy it, the market's going to rally quicker than Tom's going to do it. So then Tom's goes 13 bid, 14 bid, 15 bid. He's just buying. He was just buying whatever he could buy, and it's trading at 15. And then the broker will look at him and go, I'll buy 1,000 at 20. Now maybe he covered out of the 2,000 he sold at 12 and 15. Maybe he covered, I don't know, 800. So he's short like 1,200, and he's buying another 1,000 at 20. Okay, so then now there's a lot less to buy in the pit, because you see one guy going crazy buying it. That means something's up, and so why are you going to sell it? So he's trying to buy it, and he goes up to 20. He didn't probably buy much, and now he goes, I'll buy another 2,000 at 25. And so it gets, he starts buying it, and now the number's released, right? And it rallies to 25, 30, 40, above even, right? And so my clerk comes over to me, and she looks at me and she goes, they pulled Tom out of the floor. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, he's down 6.5.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and this was, the number came out at 7:30. This was 7:45. Okay. So that was so that's a bad day for him. But and then another time the markets were going up to these like ridiculous highs, right? I mean, never seen before highs. And then the broker's kind of doing the same thing. He's like buying 1,000 from him, buying 1,000 from him, and finally he gets to a point, and the broker says, I'll buy another. He goes, no, I can't sell it anymore. I can't sell it anymore. Just go ahead. So he's, and then the broker starts, and then he just, the market goes up even faster, and he's wrong. Because he's trying to keep the market down, because that's what he's used to doing. He's used to controlling the market, and then all of a sudden, when the market becomes too big, right, he can't control it anymore. Basically, that's what happened when the market's gone to electronic trading. The market is just too big, and it's hard to control. Like he used to be able to control the market, now he can't do it anymore. Just too big.
Did he retire, or did he go broke?
No, he had too much money to go broke. I mean, he was also a smart guy. He invested a lot of stuff, a lot of his money, and he did try to trade when things were going really slow. He did try to trade, but he did sell his stock way too early. That I will tell him. He took he cashed out a lot earlier than that's when I heard that he cashed out. So, but it is what it is. Everybody trades, but he had property, and he had a plane, and his lifestyle might have changed, but he didn't lose it all.
Don has a tractor.
Yeah. It's broke most of the time, but I've got one.
Yeah.
More than I can say. I have a tractor.
So no, he was smart. He knew what but at the time, this was way back at the time where when you're on CNBC and they make a special about you. He also had his own brokerage house, by the way, because no brokerage house wanted to cover his trades, because he was trading so much. Like he would trade like maybe 20% of the contracts in a day, one guy, and so nobody wanted to, and that's taking a lot of risk. So he had to, and he ended up having to open up his own brokerage house so that he could trade the way he wanted to trade.
Wow.
So and then you got to put up the capital with the exchange. This is the part that so when the exchange had those black days that they had when when that guy, this was the day of Madoff, and somebody else did the same thing with futures, and it was harming one of the big brokerage houses that was on the exchange. And what happens is with a brokerage house, you have to put up a certain amount of capital so you can clear the number of people that are underneath you. And you are responsible for, if you're the brokerage house, you're responsible for your traders. If the trader goes rogue and overtrades and loses, let's say $4 million, and he only has, I don't know, 100,000 in his account, the brokerage house is responsible to cover the balance. I mean, that's why you put up the money with the exchange, right? And at the end of the day, the exchange should cover the broker in case the broker can't maintain the money that the brokerage house lost, right? So what happened was when this guy, the Madoff, kind of did the same thing with futures, and one of the biggest firms went under. I've forgot the name of it. Of course, I was part of it, and they basically, the exchange wouldn't back up the brokerage house, and put a whole bunch of people lost money. I mean, they took all our money out. So I had I took I took out I had 80,000 in the account, and I took out like a check for $10,000, and then 2 weeks later I'm bouncing all kinds of checks from my checking account. They went back and took every check over the last month that we took out from our money and deducted it from my checking account, because this guy lost all this money, and the brokerage house went broke, and so any monies that was in there, they confiscated. I mean, this is like insane. I mean, it's like so ridiculous. But it took me 2 years to get my $80,000 back.
Oh, wow.
It was like crazy. It was just totally unbelievable. It was unbelievable that the exchange wouldn't back up the brokerage house. Now, at the time, the loss, they said the loss of the brokerage house was $600 million. Okay. Now, for the exchange, they should have backed it up, and no craziness would happen. And that's why I'm just anti-exchange these days, because that's just like ridiculous. And I mean, that was their responsibility, and they didn't want to do it because it was going to hurt the stock.
Hey, I hate to throw a wet blanket on this thing. Y'all see where we're trading at?
No, I see you, man. You got right up to the blue band there. I got you. There's no wet blanket to be thrown. This is like a happy blanket. This is very beautiful. Nice trade.
I was looking for that 85.
Yeah. Well, you got it. It's perfect.
Oh,
that blue band is right there at 85.
Yeah, buddy. I got out too.
Yeah, right. Good job.
I just didn't have enough guts to go short behind it.
Yeah, good job. Yeah, so that was the craziness of that story. And trying to remember, Refco, was it Refco? I can't remember. I've been through so many clearing firms because everybody started buying everybody out, and I can't even remember. All right, nice little trade there. If you got sold our blue band there, it's always Mark's quiet. You know, he sold the blue band. He's working.
I got all of that.
Right. This time you traded the blue band.
I did. Yeah, I wasn't gonna let that one go by.
All right. Didn't want to wake you up and tell you the blue band was there.
All right.
Yeah, so that's exciting stuff. That's always there's a whole bunch of stories, but
aren't those brokers firms supposed to have like insurance that cover stuff like that, or?
Yeah, well, they have to put money up. Like you, if to own at the time, this is totally different now, but the full seat guaranteed, you have to have like 5 full seats to be part of to have to open up a brokerage house, and the full seats were worth $1 million. So basically, you needed to have like $5 million in your account that the brokerage house needed to have, and then now you have to balance that out with how many individuals are you're covering and how much they're trading. And so, if you had more people trading, then you needed to put more money in your account. So they had to put up collateral with the exchange so that they can cover, any losses that happen. So that's what basically what they did was that they had to put up this money with the exchange to let them become brokers.
Right.
It worked out. I mean, look, at the time there were plenty of brokers, and then what happened was, as the markets evolved, the bigger brokerage firms bought out the smaller brokerage firms. And then the bigger brokerage firms bought out the medium-sized firms, and then it became just like, if you're going to be, clearing, you had maybe 5 or 6 instead of 15, brokerage houses to choose from. And I just kept, I stayed with the same group of people, except they just kept being bought out by somebody else. The same management group of people all stayed in, but they kept buying, people, the people who were running the company were different. And then as times went on, the perks that you got also changed, because when you were a small company, you wanted to keep your traders, these guys had Bulls tickets and Cubs tickets, Sox tickets, so you always went to games. They wanted you to stay with them, so they were treating the trader nice. I mean, after all, I did give them, when I was trading in my heyday, I was trading a lot. I was giving them maybe 100,000 in commissions a year, and
Wow.
kept them happy. So they gave me a whole bunch of stuff. But then they got greedy, and the bigger they got, the less things you got from them. And to the point where at the end it was like, I don't need this. I'll just go on the floor. And they used to give me my office. They used to give me my tickets, and they used to give us stuff. And then at the end, I had to pay for my office. I had to pay for this. I was paying for everything that I used to get before for nothing. And I was like, well, I just go onto the floor and pay $100 a month to have a booth on the floor and screw those guys upstairs, because that was pissing me off.
Hey, Don, I bet we can afford a seat on the exchange now.
I can't even afford a seat in my office.
Yeah. So yeah, it was good. It was good days back then. And then and the bond pit was the bond pit. I mean, that was the place. I mean, and also the S&Ps at the Merc. The Merc and the Board of Trade were two different facilities, 2 different areas, and 2 different buildings. And obviously, when it went public, and then when they bought each other out, and they consolidated. But it used to be that the S&P pit was the huge at the Merc, and that made the most of their money, and the bond pit was huge at the Board of Trade, and that made the most of their money. And think about it, we're trading 400,000 contracts in the bond pit in a day, and that was a lot. And then when it got to 600,000, that was huge. That was a big day. 600,000 contracts at bond pit was a huge day.
So who do you think trades it now? I mean, you mentioned before that the government trades it, or they do a lot of buying and selling, but are there other people out there that still try to trade it?
There are the ones who are trading it now are the option guys in the bond pit. So they're trading a lot. They're doing something in options, trading the futures as a hedge, or vice versa. They're spreading. There's also spreading between the 10s and the 5s and the 30s. The yield curve trade. So the yield curve trade is still very active, and the yield curve has been moving lately. Just in case you didn't, I mention it every now and then. And so there's still trade there, except most of it's hedged off against either another bond contract or an options contract, more than it is straight up contracts trading or scalping.
I was going to ask you, is there a way to tell what the future might hold versus what the bonds are doing?
It not at this level here.
Yeah.
Okay. The you know, if you think about where the bond market is and what the yield is, right? And we've been here for 15 years now with this yields being so low, 14 years. And so you used to be able to get some indication when the bonds were a 4 or 5% yield and they moved down to 2% or 3%, that something's up, right? But now when the yield is so low, you know, you get a go from 1.5% to 2.5%. Yeah, that's a big move, but then it comes right back. You're not getting any good indication, you know, and it's harder to tell at these levels when you have the bond market trading at a 161 handle. It's a, you know, when I started trading the bond handle was trading a 61. There was no 100 in front of it. I mean, think about it. But then that's the yield. I mean, you know, and every contract that they come out, they have a new coupon price, so that's adjusted accordingly. It used to be an 8% contract, and then the price would adjust it to a 7% yield on the coupon rate. So everything is adjusted to the, you know, and then when you come up with a new contract, the new contract would be trading at 4%, and you know, so you're adjusting it that way. But yeah, I was trading, the bond price was at was at 61. Somebody remember this now here. You're talking about letting you know what the bond if the bonds are going to tell you something. In '87, the day the market crashed the 500 points, the bonds were trading at the low, and then they opened up that night at like 10 points higher, and you couldn't trade it because there was a limit. But that indication, because the Fed came in there and did some crazy stuff with the bond, now that helped them the market solidify. So the bond market did tell you what the S&Ps were going to do, and then you had the, you know, that was after that big 500 point sell off, and then the market came right back. So in case, but again, you're talking about yields being way different than they are right now. So it's harder to tell right now. All right. All right, my voice is completely gone, so I will.
I was just going to say, we're supposed to help you. We're asking you tons of questions and making you talk. Sorry about that.
I think I've talked more. Well, that's all right, though. At least I got something to talk about. It's better than watching the market not do much. But hopefully, you guys took the blue band for those of you and had a nice rotation off of that. We've had, even though we've been talking, the first trade wasn't the best, but if you stuck with it, you made all right. Then we had some nice trades after that against our other secondary levels, and we'll see what happens. All right, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys, for jumping in.
Hope you get feeling better.
I'm fine, except my throat. I just need to relax my talk. I can't talk. I was yelling too much the last 2 days.
Stop yelling at your wife.
So this is the voice. This is the voice when I would go like on a little vacation and come back after a week, and I go back the first day. This is how I would sound after I got out of it, literally. And then it takes me like a couple days, and I go back the next day and start screaming and yelling again. And then after that, my voice would, and then I'd be like okay after that, even though I'd be yelling and screaming a lot. So you can tell because we've had 2 games in a row, I haven't been yelling and screaming that much because basketball hasn't been around that much. It was so nice to get back to the court and have the kids play and have practice and then have to deal with the other drama that comes with that of guys on the bench not playing and the parents getting upset that their kid's not playing. Oh God, got to deal with that now. But I can deal with that. So,
you know, they say that what is it that you mix lemon and honey and bourbon?
Oh, yeah,
like a little hot toddy.
Yeah, that I like that idea. For my voice, yeah.
If nothing else, you feel better afterwards.
Yeah. No, I've been drinking water all morning. It's just Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Hopefully, we get
Okay.
some more. We're back in this range that we've been at for the last 2 days. I think market is going to wait for inflation number is coming out tomorrow and on Monday, and on Tuesday, not Monday. So we'll see. Maybe they're waiting for that to get in, and then after that, it's going to be, kind of slow after that because the holiday. I mean, you got to figure the week of the 21st is going to be very slow going into Christmas, and then the following week with New Year's. So definitely have to going to think about our holiday schedule coming up because it's going to be very slow. All right, boys, thank you, and we'll
Have a good one, Sal.
talk to you guys
You too.
tomorrow morning.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Well, Brother Mark, I'm fixing to shut it down too.
Same here. I'm not gonna. The blue band trade was my last one.
We should bounce up to 91, but I'm not staying. I've hit a bunch of my targets in the trades. I'm going. That's enough.
Right.
I've already hit my 20 for today. It's time to quit.
I'm telling you, Don, you got to start your own little brokerage firm out of your shop.
Well, I don't mind trading the 20. It's just at the end of the day, I better come out ahead, or I'm kind of ticked.
There you go.
And it's about time for them youngins to be hitting the floor, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, I can hear them rattling around, so they should be in here soon.
Daddy.
Yeah, I'll put them on camera tomorrow. Get their hair done.
Eat it up, brother, because they grow out of that.
That's
you can't get it back. Yep.
Too fast. Well, you have a good one, Don. Have a good afternoon.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Hey, quick couple programming notes. If you want to join us here on a daily basis, go to tradealonglive.com, tradealonglive.com. If you're interested in trading education, check out our website, tradealongtradingacademy.com, tradealongtradingacademy.com. It comes bundled with this daily Trade Along Live session. In other words, you get educated. You're able to be mentored by Saul in the academy, and then come in here on a daily basis into this Trade Along Live session as a proving ground and an access point to Saul as you're applying your newfound trading skills. So join us, come in, tradealonglive.com. We'll be happy to help you out. Appreciate it. Thank you.